going on, guys? It's your boy Afro. Welcome back to the Point Podcast. Afro, Michael, and Enoch. We are in the building. You know, we're here. Sorry. We're here for another episode. Yeah, man. So, guys, Wagwan, what you man saying?
Good, man. We're good, man. I'm good.
Yeah. Blessed.
Yeah.
That it?
Always.
Highly blessed.
Man, I'm good.
The topic we're going to talk about might not be highly blessed.
Yeah, no.
It's not a blessed topic, to be honest with you.
It's not a blessed topic at
It
all.
was actually one of our more popular episodes last year, and we thought we'd revisit it. So we're talking about porn again, part 2. You know, we're back with pornography. Yeah, do you know what's funny? Let me just start off with a conversation I had with my boy a couple of weeks ago. So Victor was in the country. Shout out Victor. He's back now in America. But yeah, our boy Victor was in the country. We went to go and play golf. So we're just, for some weird reason, we're talking about porn in the car on the way to golf.
As you do.
As you do, you know. And our boy shout, he was like, oh, should I say his name? It doesn't matter. I've said it anyway. Shout. So he was like, yeah, I don't watch porn anymore. I don't watch it. I'm over it. He's like, and the reason he's over it is because it doesn't satisfy him anymore. And he'd gotten to the point where he was watching lesbians wrestle. So I don't even know how that satisfies him in the first place. But I think how we should start this conversation is that how far have you guys gone in terms of what you've watched?
Ooh. We want to go there?
Yeah. For me,
yeah, go on.
I can start with myself. I don't go too deep. Just unfortunately, I don't watch it anymore. I mean, not unfortunately.
Unfortunately, don't watch it anymore.
Fortunately, I don't watch it anymore. But when I did watch it, yeah, man, let me just watch sex and that's it. I'm done.
So you was like on the very basic, like.
Yeah, I kept it basic. And to be honest with you, I think. To be honest with you, I think it was because of a conversation I had with my dad. Because I did mention it in the last episode. My parents found out that I was watching porn.
Yeah.
And I remember a conversation I had with my dad, and he was like, Falabi, you don't know what these things can do to you. It has a spiritual side to it. You never know. You could even end up. And I was like, what? Could even end up.
Listen, I heard a guy. I know there was a guy talking about it on LBC, and he was actually like, he was swinging that way as well.
You said, I remember you mentioned, you said there was a guy that.
Do you know why?
Because like he got so entrenched into it. On your point, yeah, like how far I went. Gosh, like for me, I never did like the wrestling and all of that thing. Yeah, I think actually, do you know? To be honest, I think I was quite basic. Like it was. Am I gonna label?
No, don't. No, you have to say it.
I have to say it.
Yeah, you do.
I thought you said, no, don't say it. You have to say it.
Yes, you do.
Okay, so I'll. This is so embarrassing. Transparency.
I'll say mine.
I actually can't. I can't.
But I don't mind. I'll say mine. Ebony.
I'll back you. You say yours, and I'll back you if I.
Okay, cool.
Click your fingers. Click your fingers.
Yeah.
If you've been there.
Okay.
So you list a few of it.
Ebony. Girl Next Door. You know them ones.
That one.
You know
what's that like?
What Girl Next Door is?
What, like the Susie next door, the innocent.
They're just walking and like, I need some milk or I need some help with something. Or the builder will walk into the yard. You know that one? What else? Bang Bros. You know the ones they used to do in the back of the truck? That they'd be beating in the truck, bruv. Mad.
And there's some when they'll be on and all of them things that if you don't see them ones. Okay.
But in the farm thing, right?
Farmhouse.
I don't know about the farm thing, bro.
Yeah,
what else? What else? I don't know. Well, I think that was it for me. To be honest,
that's as far as categories go, really.
I didn't go further than that.
I
But
was
like,
never into like the fetish, like foot things and all of them.
Foot
Like,
things,
I
you
never
know.
went down that
Yeah.
route, to be honest.
I think some people were in it, and to be honest, I think you can only go two ways. It's like you go further into it, or you're like, all right,
I'm just gonna
what
have
else
sex.
what else is this? Yeah, or I'm just gonna start beating.
Because what
Or you're doing both.
Because what we were saying before, obviously before we start recording, is that like these companies, these porn companies, actually have people that go and work there 9 to 5, day in, day out. Like you're going to work at a bank or you're going to work at the supermarket.
Can you imagine the conversations? So what are you doing today? Oh, I'm just uploading this 30-minute orgy video to the site.
That's very
It's
nice.
like, what?
it's nuts.
That's your job. You get commission for it, boy.
Yeah. Because it's literally like YouTube.
Digital partnership then.
Yeah.
You might can get your partnership.
And I was shout out to the Brunch Brothers podcast with Cass Ajani. I was listening to his podcast and he did a very similar one to what we talked about last time on porn, yeah.
Yeah.
And he was saying that he knows people that are linked to the industry, and like a lot of the people that are like involved in it, or some of them, their story is one of like they're on house arrest, so they have to bring people in to come and like film to make some money. Some of them are drugged up before they use it. So for him, I remember listening to it and his reflections were like, I'm actually contributing to
that.
to this behavior, like to
Yeah.
people actually, you know, being drugged up and everything like that, and I'm condoning it by watching it. So that took it for him. It took him kind of like, I can't really
And to be honest, some of those videos,
entertain this anymore.
like some of them videos, like I mentioned before we started recording, like they're a bit weird. Like
Yeah.
the orgy and the gangbang ones look really rapey, in my opinion. Yeah.
So, yeah.
And like you know, when you're able to look at the whole thing from with a different eye, yeah, it's weird like how so many people are so stuck in it and are watching it, and it's when you look at it with a different eye, it is absolute madness what we're doing.
Yeah.
It's perversion,
It is
in my
perversion
opinion, as well.
It is perversion. You're actually watching someone else have sex.
Yeah.
And like, it's perverted, man.
It is very perverted.
When did you lot decide that, okay, you know what, this is not good for me? Do you know what I mean? Because I think obviously your
for me?
first,
Okay, yeah,
because
yeah,
your first
that one.
interaction with it is calm. But when did you decide? Okay,
I wanted
you know
to
what,
actually
this is not
be
good
a
for me?
porn star at one point.
Did you?
Yeah, when I was younger, I was like, because you know the thing is, yeah, in secondary school, yeah, I don't mean like, okay, still I said it.
Go
but
ahead.
anyways, in secondary school, yeah, you think about it, you're like everyone's talking about beating.
Yeah,
Everybody's talking about it. And I'm like, and you know what, yeah, I'll be watching, I'll be thinking, this looks calm, you know.
Yeah.
Like, I could do this. I could do this. Anyways, I don't know what I was thinking back then. But yeah,
Did they even get paid like that?
the women get paid like that.
Really?
The women get paid. The guys don't really get paid because the guys are the men are the people that watch porn the most. Yeah, we're not watching for the guys. We're watching for the women. So
So they hence.
hence they get paid more. Yeah.
When did I decide?
Yeah.
I can't even remember. Probably like secondary school times. Like I knew it was bad. Like otherwise I wouldn't be like doing it in private anyway.
Yeah.
But when I realized that this is not actually good for me, like good for me, probably I don't know, like 18.
I reckon probably
Yeah.
around that time.
Around 18, when I realized that I wanted to get married and like have kids and all this stuff, and it was like, okay, is this actually good?
Because it
Like, what
hinders you a lot, in my
Does.
opinion. Like even your social skills as
Social
well.
anxiety is
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend at 18.
Yeah.
You had a girlfriend at 18?
Yeah, did I tell you that? Oh my gosh, I did. We'll talk about it off camera.
Anyway,
No, I had a girlfriend. I can't say. I really cannot say.
At all.
I can't.
Wait,
say.
we know the
You lot
person.
kind of go. Do I know them?
You would know of them.
I would know of them.
Yeah.
Did they go to your uni? No,
Nah,
because
nah,
you haven't
nah,
got to
nah.
uni.
Are you gonna tell us off
Exactly.
air? Are you gonna tell us off air?
Yeah,
I
I'll
know
tell
who
you
he
off
was.
air. Maybe you might
I think
remember.
I might know who he...
You
Do
might
I know them?
remember. You
Or I
might.
know- or I
You
know
know
of
of them.
Okay.
You definitely know of them. They went
Okay.
to our school.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
what
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what I
yeah.
think.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
But anyway,
So, yeah,
anyway,
so-
go on, continue.
So yeah, and I reckon that I think the way I was with her,
Yeah.
like touchy feely, I
Do you
knew
think
that.
he was led on by porn?
Yeah, and obviously she didn't want any of that.
Right.
But then I couldn't it's something that I saw. Like every time I kissed her, I felt, okay, this is where it's leading. And then that's when I knew that, this is deadly.
I think I probably knew that when I was 16.
I think so.
16.
I did as well.
That's when you had your girlfriend, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah. You see?
Yeah, because I went like, oh goodness me. Anyways, I'm sorry, Faye. You don't look at me differently when I say this. So I remember I was on the way to a house, and do you know what I said? Yeah, I was like, I didn't have a condom, but I was like, I'm gonna pull out. Like, if I beat, I'm going to pull out. I'm gonna pull out.
Yeah.
And make sure I pull out. Yeah. So that's what I was saying in my head, like psyching myself up because I'm going to a house, and that was my intention. And we didn't at that time. We didn't have sex. Something happened, but we didn't have sex in it. But I went with that intention, and that's obviously because of what I've seen in porn. And I don't know how regularly I was watching porn at that time. Probably, I don't know if it was every day. I don't think it was every day, but it was like I was pretty much engulfed in it at that time.
I couldn't look at girls in the eyes. Like I found it very even
the
eye
breast
contact
instead.
with anyone.
Eye contact.
Anybody, like I couldn't look people in the eyes. Like if you look at me, I feel like you could see the shame in my face.
Yeah.
So it's so weird, isn't it? Like that's like if someone would look at me for too long, I'll get nervous. But so I think like social anxiety built up for me, which is strange because I'm a very social person. So watching it, I was just like, it's like you see people as like meat. Do you know what I mean? You look at girls and you just think, like, what can I do to you? Rather than real. Like, what can I do to you? But okay, so you decide you felt like, okay, at 18 or 16, this isn't right. Yeah. What is it about porn that keeps men and women so entrenched?
Do you know, to be honest, it's not really porn. It's just the satisfaction that you get from it at the end. Because when you bust, it's a great feeling. Can't lie, it is a great feeling. So being able to experience that feeling a number of times, it's like you love it, you get used to it, and then you start thinking of different ways of how you can, how that feeling
dopamine.
But you try and figure out ways of how that feeling can be, how you can enhance that feeling. So like there was techniques and skills that you would probably learn, like hold your breath before you bust.
That's what you
or what's the one that you lot were talking about? I don't care. I'm feeling the realness. Edging. Like you get to the point where you're about to bust, and then you don't, and then you just stop. These man said that they would get to the point they're about to bust, and they will walk away and then come back after.
That was for the days where you had time on your hands. Like when you had time on your hands,
Hey, listen.
you could be doing all that research techniques and whatever. How to make this better. Bruv, I remember speaking to one of our boys that we all know, man told me that he did it 7 times in one day. I looked at him.
I know who that is.
You know that is. I looked at him.
You're
with
mad, bro.
astonishment. Like, bruh, 7 times in one day. How, Sway?
I've done it. I think I've done it 3 times in a day. And it's too much.
It's too much, man. It's too much.
Starts to hurt, bro.
There you go.
I start, and then do you know the thing is, and the amount that comes out as well is not as much. And I'm just like, oh, this hurts. I remember I done it. I think it was the 3rd time I did it, and it hurt, and I was like, I'm never doing this again. I'm never doing it again. I was like, I'm never doing this again. I am never.
It's when you say I'm never doing this.
It's when you say I'm never doing it again.
You start thinking, Jesus,
and then you
I'm
start
sorry.
praying. And you start, listen, the amount of time I've gone down on my knees in prayer, fam.
Oh,
Remember that thing?
Oh, and I'm sorry, God.
Do you know what? Sometimes you feel like anyway, like you feel like it's like broken almost, like not broken, but like sometimes, fam, there's been times where I'm like, is it gonna function again? Kind of thing, like,
do you know what? Yeah, sometimes I get those days like I don't want to do it, but I'm doing it, and I'm like, wait, what's going on? It's not coming out quick enough. It's not coming out quick enough, and I'm like, it's because I know what it is. It's like my brain's like, I don't want to do this. Why are you doing this? I'm not on it.
You're actually not on it.
I'm not
but
on
the
it.
force of habit is
It's forcing you to do it.
And
that's when I'll be taking like 20 minutes, bro.
I used to think I wouldn't be able to have children, you know?
Yeah.
At one point I was like, maybe have I over-exhausted myself? Like,
So I'm thinking, oh wait, is that it? Is that it?
I used to think God is gonna punish me with not having kids because I've been doing it. You know, no, like on a real, let's free it.
no,
like,
it's really that's what I
really
used to
the
think as
realness.
well.
Do you know what I mean?
No, I'm like, fam, hey.
There's this there was this thing I saw on Twitter the other day, yeah, where it says you're addicted when the thing that makes you depressed, you're trying to console the depression with the addiction.
Yeah.
So when it's like, okay, I don't want to watch pornography, I don't want to do this anymore. It's compromising my faith, it's compromising my social skills, it's compromising like who I feel I am as a person, like my integrity, all of that sort of stuff, yeah. But then you go and then you feel guilty after you've done it, but then you go back and do it again.
Yeah.
Why? That's why I asked the question. Why are we so entrenched? I get it, the good feeling and everything. Yeah. But like, how can you break that cycle if you are entrenched in it? Because married men, there's many married men that are still watching it. Yeah. And a lot of married men that say, marriage doesn't cure lust. Like you still have to. How we go? You're beating every night because you're married now. Or whatever.
No one's beating every night. No one's got time for that. Too tired. The ones, especially when you got kids as well. Like when you got kids, you think you got time to start beating.
First few stages of your marriage, you will.
First few stages of the marriage, that's every day. But I'm talking about like the marriage is established now. You're like 4 or 5 years deep into it.
Will you even want to? Will you even want to have sex?
You know them ones. Would you want to?
Like, will you can you be bothered? That's the question.
There'll be times where you can't.
I'm sure there'll be times.
I want to talk to a married couple, like an open one that would be willing to talk about this, like what's it like after you've been married for like 3 years? Is the spark still there? Do you man really want to do it, or do you have to plan it now? Like, okay, babe, you get on.
Some people do that.
We're gonna do it. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna put it in the calendar. All right. Come home. 8 p.m. 8 p.m.
They actually do that.
8 p.m. We shower and then we do it. Okay?
Yeah, I think so. You gotta schedule these things in, bro.
Date night.
Date night. Yeah, at the end of it. Yeah.
I was about to say.
Date night and beat.
Date night and sex off.
Yeah. Happy ending.
Yeah. I was gonna say something mad.
No, speaking of happy endings. Well, speaking of happy endings, Enoch. Just to bring you in a little bit more into the convo as well. Yeah. Like obviously, like massages, bro. Chat to us.
So basically, porn ruined massages for me. I cannot have a massage ever again.
It's so awkward.
It's just mad awkward. Maybe at some stage in my life, I'll be able to go back, but I can't.
I've never had a massage.
My
before.
muscles
Do you have
will
to
be
get
tensed.
naked?
No,
some of them you have to.
Some
like, you're
you
literally
actually-
you get naked and
you're wearing something, or
you.
sometimes you wear a thing like.
You know when we went to
Can I
Morocco?
ask a question?
Can I ask a question?
Can I ask a question? If you
we went to Morocco. Yeah, we got massages. I remember the woman. She was rubbing my. She was,
Hey, did you make it
all
hard?
sorts of essential oils. Yeah, she was rubbing into my all sorts of essential oils. Bruv, there was one point me and her just started laughing. Like I was facing my back, thank God. Yeah, like, I was on my front basically. Yeah. But like we just started laughing because it was so awkward.
Didn't you feel uncomfortable? Because
yeah,
I know your penis must have erected. Yeah, and so you're like you're trying to adjust the thing while you're
flat down.
Like, how do you do that? Because the thing is going up. Yeah. So how do you maneuver in that situation? Because that's what I'd be thinking. Because if you're rubbing my inner thigh, rubbing my inner thigh.
Luckily, this was just the back. This was just a back massage.
But even then, did she have soft hands?
She did.
See, that's a problem. That's a problem, bro.
Hey, I had something. I went to Malta, and I had something called a hammam.
What's that?
Hey, fam, it should be called a haram because the way it was. The way it was basically, I didn't know what it was, innit?
Yeah.
So I booked it, everything. I was like, raw, like, I think it's like a 2-hour experience. So I'm like, oh my God.
2 hours.
I'm going to be so relaxed, right? I'm walking to the shed thing, yeah? And I sit down, someone's sitting opposite me. And then a woman, like an old lady comes out, like literally old, short. She's like, come, sir, come. And he's like, yeah, okay, yeah. He walks in and I'm like, oh, I'm going to get one of those as well. I can't remember how old she was. She was blonde, blue eyes, all sorts, yeah. Came out. She's like, "Are you ready? Are you ready?" That's what he
He
thinks.
said
That's
she-
what he
I'm gonna
thinks.
say she was bad.
That's what he thinks.
I'm not shaming
Hey.
women, but
But she was.
Afro is calling girls butters right here. You know, he's calling females butters.
I don't care, man. That girl from Otal, yeah.
Oh,
God
I
bless
remember
you.
the picture of
Yeah,
her.
she was
Yeah,
butters, man.
Anyway,
She was
You know,
butters.
she weren't.
I'm
That ain't
I'm not having it. Do you know the
That
thing
ain't
is?
it.
I'll be
That
real with you,
ain't it.
Enoch. You know when he said that picture, yeah? I went to Michael directly. I told
Yeah,
her
I
she's
remember, I
butters.
remember.
She's butters. Oh.
That ain't it.
you weren't there.
I didn't
You
have to
weren't
be there. You
there.
said the picture, bro.
You weren't
She ain't
there
got no
though.
top lip, man.
You ain't there though. You ain't. You weren't there.
And your
though.
top love language is physical.
It's physical, bro.
Yeah, so continue.
So
Your
You lips in no lip.
You weren't there though. You weren't there though.
Okay.
Yeah, but you don't understand. You weren't
She
there.
ain't got no top lip.
Yeah, but you don't understand. But you don't understand that, fella. You weren't
Yeah.
there. So she calls me out, like, okay, calm. I'm like, what's going on in here, innit? Because it was bare humid as well, innit? She goes, you take your gown, put it over there. I was like, okay. Wait. I'm like, okay, what? Like, yeah, I'm like looking around, like, literally, it's just like marble, water everywhere, music.
Just like the
And
scenes
yeah, right, exactly. So she goes, okay, lie down here, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Basically, I got a butt like she bathed me, like scrubbing like everywhere.
Did she?
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah.
did she touch?
Inner
Did she touch your
thigh,
backside?
Inner thigh.
Were you
all
naked?
sorts. I
In
had
the
my
thigh?
Yeah,
boxers
she was
on.
naked.
I had my boxers on.
Oh, okay.
I actually had my boxers. There was what? Anyway, I had my boxers on, innit? So like, but obviously like she pulled them down a bit so she can scrub small, like. But it was, fam. It was the mad like that ruined everything for me. Like, that's when I knew I need to stop this thing fully. Like fully,
Because it was messing
because
with
it
you.
was like now I can't even have normal bath.
Do you know?
I'm
Normal
crying.
bath. And it wasn't even over then. Like after the bath, like after the bath, I had another massage, and then she invited me back for hot stone massage, and I said yes. Of
Hot
course, I said yes.
stone massage.
Yeah, man. She put hot stones on my back
Hot stone
and,
massage.
and my legs and my arms and everything. It was nice.
That must
I
have been
like.
nice
I actually
though.
like the hot stone one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
that one.
sounds-
That one was actually good. Like,
So she invited you back for it.
yeah, of course, I paid money to go back.
Wow.
I paid. Of course, I paid money to go back.
To go back.
Yeah, to go back.
Yeah. And that's
But
what
yeah.
I'm saying. Like,
Yeah, man, it just ruins it. It ruins
such a nice holiday experience.
such a
has
nice
been
holiday.
ruined
Just
by-
be ruined.
by the demonic Afro-
And do you know what it is? It's because of what we watched as well. Because there's this. I'm not gonna mention the name. We ain't not promoting porn stars out here, yeah. But there's this one that I used to watch on a regs, yeah.
You already said.
You said,
Pornhub.
is this the one that you claimed to have seen when we went to London Bridge? We was in London Bridge, and Afro was like, "Oh, that's so and so and so and
Who
so,"
was it again?
and I was like, "Bro,
No.
oh,
I know
okay,
the one. I know
okay.
the one that you're talking about.
Yeah, yeah.
That was her. I don't care what anyone says. That was her. But I'm not gonna mention
Roaming the
it.
streets of London, boy.
Roaming the streets of London. Do you know? Anyways, I know how I remember her as well.
I know how you know you.
I know, bruv. I know that was her. I know it was her.
Yeah,
Anyways, what was I gonna say? So the reason why it's kind of ruined, yeah, is because like there's this massage one that I watched, yeah. I watched it, yeah, and what was I gonna say again? I have forgotten what I was going to say.
All right, take your time. Take your time.
Yes. Okay. So I'm watching this one, yeah, doing a massage scene, yeah, and instead of rubbing the places where you're meant to rub, yeah, man's like, oh, I gotta do inner things. Man's rubbing the vag. Like, why are you rubbing the vagina? That's not massage.
It's not.
That's not a massage thing. So I'm sure I understand why people are scarred by it. There's a porn video. Of course,
Yeah,
it
of
was.
course, that's why he was.
That's what they're doing. Innit?
Why are
Like,
you
that's the whole
surprised? Why are you
point.
surprised?
Yeah, but like,
You click the video. What's your
You
problem?
was on the website.
yeah, I was
You
on the
clicked the
website.
video. What's your
Yeah.
problem?
As in,
It was a good video.
said
It wasn't a good video. It wasn't a good video at all.
and you know what? We obviously like the more you watch, the more you want.
Yeah.
Which is the thing with porn is like. It's
get
the
sucked
gift
in.
that keeps giving that you don't want, but you
gift
want.
that
It's a gift
Do you
that
know
you
what
don't
I mean?
want, to
It's-
be honest.
If you don't want the gift,
Mm.
but you like the deeper you get into it.
Do you know what's funny as well? I don't know if I mentioned this in the last episode, but it's like it's almost as if that we're trying to fill a void.
Yes.
There's a
I
void
think-
in
yeah,
our
that's
lives,
what it
and
was.
people
Yeah.
are
That's
trying to.
basically an answer to what you asked earlier. That why do
Yeah.
people?
Yeah, I think it's a void. Like some people want affection from the opposite sex, so
Yeah.
they feel as if that they can fill that void with porn.
Yeah.
Some people just want sex, and so of course they're using that as a means to be able to
To
fill
get
that
it.
void.
Fill that void, yeah.
Would you
Yeah.
say? What would you guys say is your reason for watching porn?
I think.
What was my
I
reason?
think for me, the void was. I think the relationship void was definitely a factor for me. I think like just wanting physical relations.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? That's what you want. That's pretty much why you do it.
I think that's what everyone wants.
I think that's what everyone wants, and I think it's especially like, you know, in the Christian community. I think it's very challenging and difficult because you know, sex before marriage is obviously preached to us as we shouldn't be having sex before marriage.
Some
But-
parents will tell you that you'll die if you have it as well.
AKA, AKA Afro's dad. But like,
Sup, Dad?
you know, there was there like, it's one of the ones where if you're being preached to that sex before marriage is a bad thing, but you're feeling all of these kind of feelings within yourself, especially during puberty, it can be very like disheartening for the young Christian who's battling this thing
Yeah.
because they feel as though, you know, maybe they're not truly saved, or they feel as
Yeah.
though maybe
Right.
they don't love God, or they
Yeah.
don't know. And you know, Jesus said it himself, you know, the spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, for me, it was definitely that void of wanting physical relationship with someone, but realizing that, okay, I don't want to get married yet because I'm 16. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Or I'm 17 or I'm 18.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
and
yeah.
weddings costing as much as they do.
No.
Now you're kind of at a loss. It's like, okay, I need to save up 30k before I can beat, basically.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, I need to save up 30k before you can enter.
Take her to the registry.
Take her to the registry. And this is, you know, like one of my boys, you know, I know a couple who, you know, they got married at the registry purely because they didn't want
Yeah.
to sin. So, and he wasn't a Christian, she was.
Yeah.
So people are doing that, but I just think, I always say, and you lot have heard me say this, and I think I might have said it in the last episode, where I really think that Christians should be getting married a lot younger.
I'm not on it.
But hear me out. Because I don't want to get married. I don't want to be married at 15, 16, yeah? But deep it. What is the age that people tend to normally get hooked on pornography?
What, teenage?
Young.
Teenage.
Mad
times,
young.
Like what, 12, 13?
Yeah.
Me,
Yeah.
it was it was 11.
And if you deep it, in biblical times, people were getting married at 12, 13 and dying at 26.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So I always think it's not natural for you to be 35 years old and not having sex. That's just my personal humble opinion.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
you know, I get it. You know, some people are waiting for, you know, marriage and God, you know, got someone in the right time and all of that. I do, you know, believe that. But I do think there's an element of suffering ourselves, because I think if you just find a thing and commit, then you have sex. Like, marriage is all about the committing to one another and the vows. It's not about like, let me see how many girls I can get through before I decide who I want to be with. It's about choosing one and sticking to that one and sticking to the vows that you make before the congregation and before God. So really, if you're getting married at 18, 19, you're beating and you feel satisfied and you can move
It's a
on with
bit
your
young
life.
though. It is a bit young.
Why is it? It's
Why
a
is
bit
it
young in
so
terms of
18,
society.
19?
I agree it's young.
Don't be.
But I'm just talking about our biological, like our bodies are not set up. This is why you get man them that are watching porn like all now, because your body's never been set up to not release.
Yeah.
Like the man,
Yeah,
I read a
yeah.
book about this porn thing, and like, you know, lust and masturbation. It was a Christian book, called Every Man's Battle. Definitely, if you haven't read it, I would recommend it for anyone struggling. But they were saying